Hi and welcome to a special Model Collector website blog. This is really regarding storage and what you do with your models. I think over the years it does seem crazy to me that so many people spend large amounts of money on their models and then they didn't do anything to protect them. You wouldn't buy a really expensive house and not fit an alarm system, so why buy expensive models and not protect them? Now the classic mistakes that people make, for instance, are storing them near heaters, storing their models anywhere near direct sunlight, storing your models in the attic, because attics get hot, then they get cold, then they get hot, then they get cold. The article I wrote a few months ago about granular disintegration in diecast models, the specific thing is moisture. Moisture really does attack your models. A few other things about storage. You'll see a lot of people will say don't store anything with paper. Well, if the model comes in a cardboard box, cardboard and paper are the same thing. So you can't absolutely 100% store it away from paper if you're going to keep the model in the box. But there are other things you should do. Never use newspaper because the ink and so forth will react. Cotton wool or anything like that, because that is organic material and that can get mould if it gets damp. I'm just going to show you some of these. These are, you must have seen loads of these in packing things all over the place. These are these horrible little polystyrene packing pieces. Actually they're not so bad. They do retain heat though, so you do have to be careful of that. But there are certain packing pieces which you find in boxes which are not, these are either white or blue or yellow, whatever colour they come in, but there are some which if you squash them, they don't reform. Be aware of those because they're made from organic material, wood chipping or something that's then turned into a kind of, you know, they're kind of almost like Monster Munch, if you know what I'm talking about, those crisps. So beware of those. The other idea I had for storage, obviously you're going to want to store it in a good box. So this is a standard box that I bought. They're not incredibly cheap, but they are extremely tough with a lift-off lid, so that you can lift off the lid and do whatever you want with it, store stuff in here. I've got these bottles fairly loosely packed. Some of them are still in bubble wrap. I'm not so worried about bubble wrap as some people are. I think bubble wrap's fine. It's probably better to have the models fairly closely packed, but not too tightly. I don't squeeze them in, obviously. This here is an experiment that I have tried, and it does work. You can buy these from hardware stores, or indeed, I presume, from furniture stores, or etc. What they are is they are vacuum bags, shrink bags. If you want to you're not going to get rid of all the air around your models. You're going to keep your models in a box. You keep the models in a box, of course the box is going to retain a certain amount of air. But the less air you have, the less moisture you have. The less moisture you have, the longer your models are going to survive in tip-top condition. So, you're going to need a vacuum cleaner once you've got all the other bits and pieces. This bag, as you can see, you seal it along here, good and tight. It's got, it's going to click tight seals on it. Bag, as you see, is quite airy. The plastic tub inside. And excuse the noise, but I'm going to switch this on just to demonstrate what happens. As you can see, it's fucking all the air out. That's about as much air as I can get out of that. There's a cap that fits on top. They get certain that the seal is made. And there you have it. Vacuum sealed. Really tightly vacuum sealed. Doesn't look very pretty, but you don't want to worry about that. Just fold it up a little bit and store it somewhere safe. What I would suggest in storage, if you can do it, is to store it in a spare room. If you've got a spare room, ideal. A room that doesn't get too hot, too cold, where the temperature stays pretty much constant. With a constant temperature, you're not going to run the risk of more condensation, etc. from items heating up, cooling down, etc. So there you go. That's my idea for storage. I hope it meets with your approval. You may indeed have other ideas about how to protect models and prevent them from corrosion, etc. Don't forget, of course, this applies to the boxes themselves, cardboard boxes, they get mildew. Also, of course, applies to tinplate models where they get rust and spidering on the paintwork. So if you've got any other ideas about storage and what would be suitable, send them in. We'd love to see it. Many thanks, and thanks for watching.